it's any consolation, guys, I think you're actually safer inside the tank.
Many of us won't go to college, but want to go to business.
I'm sorry, what?
Commercial course prepares you for business. You learn typing, bookkeeping, and other things.
Like painting houses.
Some of the fellas who are planning to take the industrial course really opened their eyes at the shops we saw.
Nice shops.
The boys were glad to see the girls learning how to make those pies in homemaking class. The general course has a lot of interesting subjects in it.
General, you say? I'm intrigued. Go on.
Some of us visited the special high schools. One was a technical high school. It has wonderful laboratories.
There's a guy named Igor and everything.
They work very carefully in that school. First, they make their blueprints. Then they build their house from them. It's a real life-size house. They learn about a lot of different things before that house is built.
Things like zoning and property tax and squatters' rights.
They not only learn how a house is built, but they learn about the metals that go into buildings. We saw them test steel rods to see how strong they were.
While wearing a damn
We
tie
were
for some
startled
reason.
when the steel rod snapped.
It was a low-key jump scare, no cap.
There was a class called Industrial Chemistry Lab. I always thought chemistry had only to do with test tubes and beakers. I didn't know there was a lab.
I didn't know
They
that
were
either.
mixing colors when we were watching them. In this lab, they did things just the way they do them in factories.
Cheap and poorly supervised.
Then we saw something that really surprised us.
A man in a
You can
three-piece
pour
suit.
metal just like water.
And just as refreshing. Bottoms up. They showed us how to make Robert Patrick.
We saw them heat metal in an electric furnace, and then they poured it into molds. When the metal cools, it takes the shape of the mold.
Right.
This way they can make metal into any shape they want. That was an exciting experience for us.
You have to remember, it's the 50s.
Another school we visited was a school with special classes in music. You can take a complete music course there for 4 years and get a high school diploma. We heard the senior orchestra play. They were good, especially one of the girl violinists. We
Gosh.
talked to her afterwards, and she told us that she's planning to go to a special music school after she graduates.
Mostly she wants to emancipate from her
I
parents.
wouldn't mind playing the drums myself. The drummer usually has a chance to tear into some of that music.
You know, I've noticed that myself about drummers.
In all these schools, they really give them a workout in the gym.
There's even students wearing business attire in the freaking gym. They said we had to be in fighting shape for some kind of endless war or something. Hey, you guys ever hear of kickball?
I found out that when you're in high school, the teachers give you help in choosing your course.
Guidance counselors hadn't been invented
These
yet.
high schools seem big, but I guess you get used to them, then they seem like home.
Your home is weird.
Another school we went to was for boys who wanted to go into the automobile field. I wasn't so sure that I'd like that kind of work, but some of the other fellows were very much interested in it.
Go figure.
There was a lot of noise in this shop, but the boys weren't bothered.
Those responsible for that edit have been sacked.
There were many different things to learn in the graphic art shop. Designing, and messiest and yet most satisfying of all, there was silkscreen printing.
Aprons, anyone?
Interior
Smocks,
design
perhaps?
took a lot of skill. And Joe said you had to be mighty careful when you etched out the design. But after that, mass production was easy. They made the covers for the school magazine in that shop.
There were 4 variant covers, one with each Ninja Turtle. We used this same process to make our poetry zine.
Joe liked the ceramics teacher, but he found the clay pretty tough stuff to handle. There was one boy in the class, though, who was really an artist. When he was turning the potter's wheel, nothing else in the world seemed to matter.
You're being audited.
Everyone
Hello?
felt pretty proud of what he had made after it was glazed and fired.
And eligible for unemployment.
Even the girls in the junior high school shops seemed to like learning a little about electricity.
That is a weirdly specific and arbitrary gender stereotype.
Joe said all the boys and girls liked Martha because even though she could work with tools just as well as a lot of the boys, she never tried to show off.
That makes it okay for her to betray her entire agenda.
Most of Joe's teachers seemed to be swell. He said Mr. Palumbo, their radio teacher, had a grand sense of humor and was awfully fair.
Back when he was just Mr. Demento.
Surprised when Joe told me that the boys learned to use a sewing machine.
The
In
fook!
school, you just have to learn everything.
Even girl stuff like clothes?
Pretty important for everybody to learn to sew, I guess. My sisters can make their own clothes, and I know it saves Mom and Dad money.
So we'll allow it just this once.
My sisters would like it if I went to Joe's school, where the boys have to learn to set the table, too.
Now they're infected with woke.
Girls seem to like all that fussing better than boys anyway.
Can we move on from the gender stuff?
There was one class, though, that the boys didn't have to take.
Guess not.
Interpretive dancing. The girls liked it, though.
I assure you, some of the boys would have liked it too. Here the girls are interpretive dancing their feelings about homework and curfews. Or maybe this is a scathing impressionistic indictment of conformity and indoctrination. Or maybe it's just a nice dance about flowers. Then the boys get to tear them apart in their magazine columns.
In our elementary school, we have shops, too. Only we don't call them fancy names, and we stay longer in the same shop.
Hey, it's not a contest.
My teacher told us that while the shops are important to help us choose our life work, the other classes are important, too.
He has to say that when the principal's around,
Like the art class.
where it's impossible to fail.
And our science classes. And demonstrations.
We proved creationism.
And yes, even our mathematics, English, and other classes, too.
Did you just end the rest, math and English?
Our teacher says that the clubs we take part in, the books we read, the radio programs we hear, the television we see, and a lot of other things help us to find ourselves. I guess she's right.
I guess.
I learned a lot about how hard it is to take care of details when I was prop man for our dramatic club play.
It's called mise en
And I
scène.
know that when I read books that tell you about different jobs, sometimes I learn about jobs that I never even knew existed.
Like influencer and school teacher.
Within the next few weeks,
Huh?
William and his
Who dis?
classmates worked together in group guidance classes. They had innumerable questions about high schools.
Like, why do we only talk about high
Committees were
schools?
formed and sought information about high schools. Some of the things they wanted to know were, what kinds of high schools are there in our city?
It was a real dog and pony
To
show.
which high schools can graduates of our schools go? How do we apply for admission to the high schools we choose? Where can we get all the information we need?
Some kind of boring
They planned a
film.
great variety of activities, visits to libraries, to different high schools, to industry. They thought about all the various ways that they might learn about schools and jobs.
This is pretty
Jones
intense.
suggested that some of the committee make an appointment to see the principal. Jones said Mr. Scarborough was always interested in knowing what they were doing.
So they go to school to learn about other schools? Am I getting
And
that right?
Joan was right. He was very glad to see them. He showed them copies of the Directory of Public High Schools of New York.
Just one
Told
each.
them that in a few days he would visit their class and spend some time talking over high schools with them. He said everybody in the class would get a copy of the booklet.
Something about a tax write-off. Fun with Shorts is made possible by these smart, attractive patrons. Join us at patreon.com/JoshWay for lots of fun with Shorts, behind-the-scenes goodies, art, movie reviews, and deep, dark confessions on an exclusive podcast feed. All for a pledge as small as $1 per post. We will see you next time for more fun with additional Shorts. Goodbye.